Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. So this week I'm back in the gîte garden. So down at the bottom of the garden here at the gîte, what you might have noticed is there's a few missing posts. So I put this fence in obviously just to give some protection from the pond and the garden, but there's a couple of posts missing, and there's obviously one post on the floor here, grab it, that has rotted away. So my plan for today is to replace these posts so that we can kind of secure the fence here a little bit more than it is secured at the moment. It's not very secured at all actually. And also I think this, if I kind of here, this fence post, which is kind of the gate fence post, is also kind of rotted and yeah, not really doing much. So it's only this that's holding up the whole fence. So I've got my trusty tool, and the next thing is to dig some holes so I can get the fence back secured. So let's get going. So there we are. I have 3 holes that I've dug. It didn't take me too long, to be fair. It's the ground is pretty dry, although weirdly it's still kind of wet. It's like very dry, but there is still dampness there, which is probably why the old wood has rotten away. But I've got plenty of wood. I can easily get new posts in. So now I'm going to have to go and get some wood and fit these posts. So for the sizes of the post, obviously work out the size of the hole. So I've gone down about 30 centimeters, and the fence itself is 120, so I'm going to need posts at really 150, and that should be the right size. Now I remember I had 2 nice long straight posts in here somewhere, although it's kind of overgrown a bit now. But if I don't get myself tangled up with brambles, I should have 2 posts here. Ta-da! And here's some I found earlier. Now, in a previous video, when I was using this wood and I said it had rotten down, someone actually made a comment to say that if you remove all of the bark, then it's less likely to rot because the insects don't go into it. So something I hadn't done before, which I might try and do with this one actually. Try and see if I can remove the bark and see if it lasts a bit longer. But there we are. I've found my 2 posts. Now I've got to cut them to size. So I only got 2 wooden beams from the orchard because I knew I had another one here that I'm going to use. So unfortunately, normally I'd get my circular saw out and just go zoop, but the circular saw is broken, so it's back to manual cutting. So here we are, 150. And these offcuts can go with the rest of the wood that's here, waiting here for me to cut up for the winter. But we have my 3 posts, so now I can get these in the ground and get the fence secured. So I've got my posts here. Now, I was talking about removing the bark, and I've got, whether it's the right tool, but it's a tool that I believe is used to remove the bark. So I might actually see if I can remove some of it on this log and see if it kind of helps. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of coming off quite easily because this is an old piece of wood anyway, and I think it's already started to fall off slightly in areas. But I'm interested to see if it will keep the wood lasting a bit longer and not rotting so quickly. Got most of it off. What I want to try and do is just take the first 30 centimetres off, which is where it's going to be in the ground, and I'm going to leave the rest. And part of the reason why I'm going to leave the rest is because I don't actually like this new look, or sort of new wood look I should say. I kind of like it rustic, that's the whole point of it. And by taking off the bark, it kind of leaves a very new wood look, and I'm not keen on that, so I don't want to do it all away. So I think I'm just going to do the 30 centimetres that it's going to be in the ground, and I'm going to leave the rest. And if it rots, it rots. I'll just put a new one in. But I'm done with that. Let's go. So I'm just stapling the fence to the post. It's basically the easiest thing to do. And as you can see, I've obviously filled or backfilled the holes with the soil. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, well, they're just going to rot again. And yeah, they probably will just rot again. But I don't really fancy making up some cement and putting them in cement and everything else and waiting for it to dry. And also we've got guests coming in the gîte tomorrow, so I need to get this fixed and repaired before they get here. So I'm happy with what I've done, and it should hopefully last a few more years. And yeah, at some point I'm probably going to have to dig these holes and actually put some posts in cement so that I'm not having to replace them every sort of 3 or 4 years. But it looks really good, it's solid, and it does the job that it needs to do, which is to just protect people from the lake a little bit. So I'm just the other side of the fence here, and obviously as sort of the soil is being kind of eroded at the end, it's because we've got koipus and they're burying underneath the ground, and over kind of many years it's obviously started to disappear. But interestingly enough, I've just sort of noticed that there's some glass here, and I thought, well, I better sort of clear that away. And on close inspection there's some weird glasses. I don't know what they're for, so I might sort of dig them up and put them in the bin. But interestingly, they've got kind of words on them and things like that. So you know, one says syrup roche. So yeah, obviously in the past someone's just dumped these in the ground and put soil over the top, and obviously it's sort of, as it's eroded, it's, you know, showing these really old glass bottles. So there we are, fence all fixed, all sorted, posts in, looking great. That's another job I can tick off the list, and on to the next maintenance job. So I'm here in front of the gîte, and as you can see, the vine here is getting a little bit overgrown. So I pruned our vines in our house a couple of weeks ago. There's a link to the video if you haven't seen it. And what I need to do is prune this vine just to make it look a little bit neater, and also to get the best out of the grapes. we are. I've pruned the vines and I've also pruned the rose bushes either side, and it's looking really beautiful, and hopefully it will encourage some more rosebuds to come, and hopefully the bush will be full of flowers for the summer so the guests can enjoy it. So it's been about a week and a half now since we've had the chickens here, and I'm just about to let them out. They're getting to the point now where they kind of are starting to be friends out in the garden. So the next stage for us is to actually let them into the main chicken coop and see how they get on with that. But let's go and see the chickens now. That's typical, isn't it? So one of the chickens has escaped from their area. So we're actually calling this Deanie for Houdini because she keeps escaping and we don't know how she's escaping. So Deanie here is the one that got out last week and she's now got into their pen. So as you can see, they're now firm friends. So they're certainly not causing a lot of problems. So as from today, I'm going to remove this and let them all in. But the other chickens that we've got one called Chikira, and it's because she's very scatty and moves around loads. And then the other one is called Fluffy because she's the only one that came with feathers. So let's let them out. So this one's Fluffy because, as you can see, she's got more feathers than the others. Now, it's not a great name, Fluffy, but we started calling her Fluffy because she was the only one with feathers, and now the name's stuck. But let's get the other two out. Come on then. So this one is Chikira because, as you can see, she's quite scatty. And my brother named her after Shakira, and he thought it was funny he could call it Chikira, and obviously the hips don't lie, because she moves around all the time and is so scatty, I've called her Chikira. And then we've got the escape artist here who now doesn't want to come out. Come on then, Houdini, or Deanie, come on, you're free to go, you're free to go. Oh well, there we are, we'll leave her to it. So they're really settling in now, and we're going to sort of integrate them a little bit more to our other chickens and get them actually into the chicken house themselves at night. It's going to be a bit bigger for them. That's it for this week anyway, so thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell to be notified of future videos, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Cheers guys, bye. She's coming out now. Hello. Hello, can I stroke you? Can I stroke you? No, she's still a bit unsure. Oh well, there we are. Cheers guys, bye.